Every morning you wake up, you are standing at the gate of a brand new opportunity. The sun hasn't just risen outside, it's rising inside you. The moment your eyes open, your words begin to shape the kind of day, the kind of life, and the kind of destiny you'll experience. Most people wake up reacting to their phone, their problems, their past. But powerful people wake up creating. They create with their thoughts, they create with their faith, and they create with their words. So when you wake up, you've got to tell yourself the truth before the world tries to tell you a lie. You've got to speak life before life starts testing you. Because what you say in the morning determines what you'll see by night. When you wake up, tell yourself, I'm chosen for this day. You are not a mistake. You were designed to win this day before it even began. Stop starting your mornings with the weight of yesterday. You are not who you were. You are who you're becoming. Every morning is a reminder that God hasn't given up on you. If he woke you up, he's not finished with you. There's still an assignment attached to your name. And when you understand that, you stop letting problems decide your posture. You start speaking to yourself like someone who has purpose, because your words are not decoration. They are direction. The words you speak are the GPS of your destiny. Tell yourself, I am responsible for my mindset. You can't control everything that happens today, but you can control how you respond. And the person who controls their mind controls their life. Most people lose their day before they even start it. Not because something bad happened, but because they let their thoughts drift into defeat. You can't afford to wake up in doubt, fear, or frustration. You've got to reset your thoughts before the world resets them for you. Tell yourself, my mind is my most valuable territory. Guard it, protect it. Don't let negativity rent space in it. The world will always reflect the quality of your thoughts. Tell yourself, I'm operating by faith, not feelings. Some mornings you won't feel strong, you won't feel ready, you won't feel motivated, and that's okay. Because faith doesn't wait for feelings. Faith speaks when feelings are silent. Faith moves when emotions are empty. You've got to declare, I walk by faith today. That means you'll move even when the path looks unclear. You'll speak even when the outcome looks uncertain. And you'll believe even when nothing seems to be working, because your life will never rise higher than your level of faith. Don't let your emotions be the engine. Let faith drive and let your feelings follow. Tell yourself, I'm building my life with my words. Every word you speak is construction material for your future. If you speak lack, you build lack. If you speak life, you build abundance. Your mouth is a creative instrument, not just a communication tool. Some people keep saying, I'm tired, and wonder why their strength disappears. Others say, I can't, and wonder why opportunities never show up. But those who say, I'm growing, I'm learning, I'm able, they activate unseen doors. You don't attract what you want, you attract what you say. So speak to your mountains with authority, speak to your dreams with confidence, and speak to your problems with power. Tell yourself, consistency is my strength. Most people want to be motivated every day, but motivation fades, consistency stays. The person who shows up, even when it's not exciting, is the person who wins. Every time you speak life, every time you make a choice aligned with your destiny, you're building momentum. Confidence doesn't come from what you say once, it comes from what you say every day. Every repetition reprograms your belief system. And soon, what used to feel unnatural will become normal. The same way a seed grows into a tree, consistency grows into confidence. Don't pray for easy days. Pray for consistency on hard ones. Tell yourself, gratitude is my fuel. Because gratitude shifts your focus from what's missing to what's multiplying. The moment you start thanking God for what you have, you position yourself to receive more. Complainers block blessings. Grateful people attract them. Gratitude doesn't just change your mood, it changes your momentum. The person who starts with gratitude will always end with growth. So before you reach for your phone, reach for your faith. Before you complain about the day, command it. Say, I'm thankful for another chance to grow, to learn, to rise, to serve. That simple shift in your spirit turns ordinary mornings into divine opportunities. Tell yourself, I'm not here to survive, I'm here to succeed. You weren't designed to barely make it, you were designed to multiply. You were built for dominion, not desperation. So stop shrinking your expectations to fit your fears. Expand your faith to match your potential. Every morning, remind yourself that you have the power to change your situation. You don't need permission. to be powerful. You already are. All you need is to believe it enough to act like it. The same God that gave you the breath to wake up has given you the power to rise up. Tell yourself, I am prepared for progress. Every day might not be easy, but every day is necessary. The challenges you face today are not punishment, they're preparation. You're being stretched for something bigger, refined for something greater. So, when life feels heavy, don't curse it. Carry it, because that weight you're lifting today will become the strength you need tomorrow. Every morning, you've got to remind yourself, I'm in training. Winners don't wake up hoping for comfort, they wake up ready for growth. Growth doesn't happen in convenience, it happens in commitment. And finally, tell yourself, today, I choose victory. Not because everything is perfect, but because I am determined to walk in purpose. The moment you open your mouth and speak victory, heaven begins to move on your behalf. You are not waiting for a good day, you are declaring one. The words that leave your lips create the world you'll live in. So before the world speaks to you, speak to it. Look in the mirror every morning and remind yourself, I'm chosen, I'm capable, I'm consistent, I'm covered, I'm grateful, I'm growing, I'm focused, I'm faithful, and I'm favored. That's the mindset of a champion. That's how you win your morning so you can win your life. Every morning, before the world starts demanding your attention, you hold the most powerful moment of your entire day. The moment when your mind is still quiet, your spirit is still open, and your words still have the power to set the tone for everything that follows. That's why your mindset is the morning seed. What you think, what you say, and what you believe before the sun fully rises will determine what kind of fruit your day will produce. If you plant seeds of gratitude, you'll reap peace. If you plant seeds of confidence, you'll walk in power. But if you plant doubt, fear, or frustration, you'll find yourself battling weeds you never meant to grow. See, every morning, your mind is like soil, rich, fresh, and waiting to be sown. The question is, who's doing the planting? Are you letting worry plant its roots before faith has a chance to speak? Are you letting yesterday's failures decide today's expectations? Because if you don't plant intentionally, negativity will plant itself automatically. The mind doesn't stay empty, it gets filled by whatever you allow to enter it. That's why you must take charge of your mornings. Before you touch your phone, before you check the world, check your words. Speak life into your day. Tell yourself what kind of person you'll be and what kind of outcomes you'll expect. When you start your morning with the right mindset, you're not just preparing for the day, you're commanding it. You're saying to life, I'm in control of how I respond, how I think, and how I grow. You're setting your mental thermostat for success. It's not about pretending everything is perfect. It's about choosing a perspective that gives you power instead of pressure. Because what you water with your attention will always grow. If you water peace, you'll find calm even in chaos. If you water gratitude, you'll see blessings even in problems. So when you wake up, speak the truth of who you are, not the fear of what you're facing. Declare what you expect, not what you dread. Tell your mind where to go before it wanders where it shouldn't. That's how you win your day, before it begins. Because mindset is not just about thinking positive, it's about planting faith, discipline, and purpose in the soil of every sunrise. What you plant in your mind each morning will eventually become the harvest you live in every day. Before you take a single step, before you make a single move, you must know who you are. Because if your identity isn't established, your actions will always feel empty. Too many people wake up chasing goals, chasing money, chasing approval, but they've never decided who they truly are. They spend their whole lives performing instead of becoming. The truth is, you don't act your way into identity. You believe your way into action. When you know who you are, what you do flows naturally. But when you don't, you spend your days reacting instead of creating. Every morning, you've got to remind yourself, I am not defined by what I do. I define what I do by who I am. That means your job doesn't give you value. You bring value to your job. Your circumstances don't shape your worth. Your worth shapes how you handle your circumstances. Identity is internal, action is external. Most people reverse that order. They think, when I succeed, then I'll feel confident. When I achieve, then I'll feel worthy. But real power comes when you flip that. You say, because I'm chosen, I act with confidence. Because I'm worthy, I walk in excellence. Because I'm called, I move with purpose. See, when you know your identity, your actions gain authority. You stop moving from insecurity and start moving from intention. You don't chase validation because you've already been validated by vision. You stop begging for opportunities because you understand you are the opportunity. The world responds differently to a person who knows who they are. There's a quiet boldness in your voice, a calm strength in your presence, and an unwavering focus in your decisions. But here's the danger. If you don't define yourself every morning, the world will do it for you. It will call you average when you're anointed. It will call you broken when you're being built. It will label you based on your last mistake instead of your next miracle. That's why you must start your day by declaring who you are, not what happened to you, not what they said about you, not what went wrong yesterday. You remind yourself of truth before the world starts offering lies. So when you rise, speak your identity. I am disciplined. I am focused. I am favored. I am equipped. I am enough. Let your actions flow from that truth, because action without identity leads to burnout, but identity before action leads to purpose. Once you know who you are, you stop hustling for acceptance and start walking in alignment. You stop trying to prove something and start moving from peace. And that's where true success begins. Not in what you do, but in who you believe you already are. Some mornings you wake up and your emotions don't match your purpose. You feel heavy, distracted, or unmotivated, and everything in you wants to stay in that place. But this is where faith must rise above feelings, because feelings are fickle. They shift with the weather, with opinions, with circumstances. Faith, on the other hand, is anchored. It doesn't depend on what's happening. It depends on what's true. You can't build a strong life on the weak foundation of emotion. If you let feelings dictate your direction, you'll spend your life swaying between belief and doubt, between hope and fear. Faith says, I will move forward even when I don't feel like it. Faith is the decision to act on truth when your emotions are screaming lies. It's the voice inside that says, I may not see it yet, but I know it's already done. You've got to understand that faith is not the absence of emotion. It's the mastery of it. You'll still feel tired, uncertain, even afraid sometimes. But faith steps in and says, we're moving anyway. When you lead with faith, your feelings eventually catch up. When you lead with feelings, your faith falls behind. That's why every day you must remind yourself that how you feel is temporary, but what you believe is eternal. Most people wait until they feel strong to act in strength. They wait until they feel ready to take the step. But faith says, I'll take a step, and the strength will meet me on the way. You don't wait for the perfect moment. You create it through belief. Every time you choose faith over feelings, you strengthen the foundation of your life. You stop being controlled by the waves and start walking on them. The same wind that once pushed you back will start propelling you forward because your focus has shifted from emotion to conviction. Faith is not blind, it just sees differently. Feelings see what's visible, faith sees what's possible. Feelings look at the problem, faith looks at the promise. Feelings react to what's happening, faith responds to what's already spoken. So when your emotions start to rise, speak to them from the place of faith. Tell your fear, you're not in charge today. Tell your doubt, you don't get the last word. Tell your weakness, I still have work to do. That's the power of faith. It doesn't silence feelings by ignoring them. It overrules them with truth. So when the day starts and your emotions try to dictate your direction, pause and declare, I walk by faith, not by sight. I live by conviction, not by comfort. I move by purpose, not by pressure. The moment you do, you realign your spirit with strength. Feelings are like waves. They'll rise and fall. But faith is like the ocean, deep, constant, and unmoved. You can't control every feeling, but you can choose every belief. And the person who walks by faith will always go further than the one who waits for the perfect feeling. The words that leave your mouth are not just sounds, they are seeds. Every sentence you speak carries creative power. You are building your world one word at a time. The words you choose in the morning are the blueprint for the reality you'll experience throughout the day. If you speak with doubt, you build a day full of hesitation. If you speak with faith, you construct a day filled with opportunity. You can't expect a victorious life while speaking defeat. Your life will always rise or fall to the level of your language. That's why you must become intentional about what comes out of your mouth, because your words are not decoration. They are construction. Think about it. Everything you see was spoken before it was seen. Every vision began as a declaration. Every breakthrough started with a belief that was verbalized. When you speak, you're not just expressing how you feel, you're shaping what will be. Too many people use their words to describe their life instead of to direct it. They say, I'm tired, I'm broke, I'm stuck, and then wonder why they keep living in the same cycle. Your words are steering the ship, and you can't sail into peace while your tongue keeps commanding storms. The most dangerous conversations are not the ones you have with others. They're the ones you have with yourself. Every time you speak, you either reinforce your faith or reinforce your fear. You either water your dreams or poison them. You can't plant words of weakness and expect a harvest of strength. You can't curse your situation and expect it to bless you back. Life and death are in the power of the tongue, not just spiritual death, but emotional death, financial death, relational death. Your mouth can either multiply your potential or murder your progress. That's why you must guard it like treasure. Before you speak, ask yourself, is this building or breaking? Is this affirming my destiny or amplifying my doubt? Your words are like spiritual currency. You spend them to purchase the future you desire. If you keep speaking in lack, you keep investing in limitation. But when you start declaring abundance, purpose, and favor, you start shifting the atmosphere around you. Words attract what aligns with them. When you speak faith, faith finds you. When you speak strength, strength rises within you. Your language becomes your location. You'll always live in the world. Your words create. So every morning, open your mouth with intention. Don't just let words roll off your tongue. Craft them with purpose. Speak victory before the battle, peace before the pressure, and gratitude before the gain. Declare who you are and what you expect to see. Even if the situation doesn't look like it yet, keep speaking it until it does. Words are like light. They push back the darkness. When you speak life, you call order out of chaos. You don't have to wait for the world to change. You can change it by changing your words. Every champion, every leader, every visionary learned the same truth. What you continually confess becomes what you eventually possess. So stop waiting to see it before you say it. Say it until you see it. Speak from faith, not from frustration, because your words are not just sounds in the air. They're the seeds of your future. Guard them, grow them, and use them wisely, because the world you live in tomorrow will be built by the words you speak today. Consistency is the quiet power that turns ordinary people into extraordinary achievers. It's not what you do once that changes your life. It's what you do daily. Most people fail not because they lack talent or opportunity, but because they lack consistency. They start strong, but they don't stay steady. They speak faith one day and doubt the next. They commit when it's easy, but retreat when it's hard. Confidence doesn't come from big moments. It comes from small, repeated acts of discipline that build trust within yourself. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you strengthen your belief in your own word, and that's where confidence is born. Consistency is proof that you believe in your purpose. Anyone can be inspired for a moment, but it takes faith to show up when the excitement fades. When you wake up early to pray, to plan, to push forward, even when no one sees it, you're laying the bricks of unshakable confidence. You're training your spirit to depend on discipline, not mood, because motivation is seasonal. It comes and goes. But consistency is eternal. When you stay consistent, your emotions start to follow your actions instead of controlling them. You no longer wait to feel ready. You move because you're rooted in routine. Most people want confidence to show up before they take action. But confidence doesn't come before consistency. It comes because of it. The first few steps will always feel uncertain, but every step after that builds momentum, and momentum creates mastery. When you do something over and over again, it stops being intimidating and starts being natural. That's why repetition is so powerful. It transforms effort into excellence. The more you stay consistent, the less you'll question your ability. You'll stop wondering if you can and start knowing you will. Consistency also eliminates confusion. It keeps your focus locked on the goal and your heart steady in the storm. When life throws challenges your way, and it will, your consistency becomes your anchor. You can't control everything, but you can control your effort. And when your effort remains stable, your results eventually must change. The law of sowing and reaping never fails. You keep showing up, and sooner or later, the breakthrough shows up too. Understand this: confidence isn't built in the spotlight, it's built in the shadows of discipline. It's what you do when no one's watching that determines what happens when everyone is. Every morning you show up for your goals, your faith, your calling. You're proving to yourself that you're dependable. And when you become dependable to yourself, you stop seeking validation from others. You move differently. You speak with assurance. You carry authority not because someone crowned you, but because consistency already confirmed you. So stop chasing confidence as if it's something you find. Build it, One action, one habit, one faithful step at a time. Keep doing the right thing long enough, and it will eventually feel like the natural thing. Consistency doesn't make life easier. It makes you stronger. It's the bridge between potential and performance, between intention and impact. And when you master it, confidence won't be something you try to feel. It'll be something you naturally live. Gratitude is one of the most powerful forces you can carry into your day because it changes how you see, how you think, and how you live. It's not just saying thank you, it's choosing to see abundance even when life tries to show you lack. Gratitude doesn't ignore the struggle, it transforms how you move through it. The moment you start your day with gratitude, you shift your energy from complaining about what's missing to celebrating what's multiplying. And the person who sees blessings will always attract more of them. Because gratitude doesn't just make you feel better, it makes you become better when you wake up and breathe in a new morning. That's a gift. The fact that you can think, move, dream, and try again means you're already rich in opportunity. But most people miss the miracles because they're too focused on the mess. They wake up thinking about the problems, the bills, the stress, and they forget to thank God for the breath. Gratitude opens your eyes to what's working, not just what's wrong. And what you focus on expands. When you focus on pain, you multiply frustration. When you focus on blessings, you multiply peace. Gratitude is not emotional, it's spiritual. It's a decision to magnify what's good so you can minimize what's not. A grateful person can't stay small because gratitude keeps you growing. It teaches you to appreciate where you are while still reaching for where you're going. It keeps your spirit humble enough to learn and strong enough to keep moving. Gratitude creates growth because it aligns you with increase. The universe, creation, God himself responds to gratitude. It's a signal that says, I'm ready for more. Complaining closes doors, thanksgiving opens them. Every time you thank God for what you have, you create space for something new to enter. When you live with gratitude, your energy changes. You stop moving from fear and start moving from fullness. You stop trying to prove something and start living from peace. Gratitude removes the scarcity mindset. Instead of saying, I don't have enough, you start saying, I already have more than I deserve. And from that place, you begin to attract people, opportunities, and blessings that match your new perspective. Gratitude doesn't wait for everything to be perfect. It's what makes everything valuable. Even in hardship, you can find something to be thankful for because every challenge carries a lesson, every delay develops patience, and every storm strengthens your roots. Gratitude allows you to see purpose in the pain and beauty in the process. It gives meaning to the moments that would otherwise break you. When you can thank God in the valley, you're preparing yourself for the mountain. Gratitude in small things is a rehearsal for greater things. So every morning before you ask for more, appreciate what's already here. Say, thank you for another sunrise. Thank you for strength I didn't know I had. Thank you for what you're doing, even when I can't see it yet. Because gratitude is not about ignoring reality. It's about inviting growth. The more grateful you are, the more God can trust you with greater things. Gratitude is the soil where growth takes root. When you start each morning with a thankful heart, you won't have to chase blessings. Blessings will start chasing you. Every morning is an invitation to rise higher, think deeper, and walk stronger than the day before. You are not just waking up to another routine, you're waking up to another opportunity to rewrite your story with faith, focus, and intention. When you wake up and choose your words, your thoughts, and your attitude, you're not reacting to life. You're creating it. Each declaration you make, each truth you speak, each seed you plant with your mindset becomes the foundation of the person you're becoming. So when the alarm goes off, don't just wake up your body, wake up your belief. Remind yourself that identity comes before action, that faith will always carry you further than feelings, and that your words are shaping the world you'll walk in. Remember that consistency is your weapon against doubt, and that gratitude is the magnet that pulls growth into your life. You don't need everything to be perfect. You just need to be intentional. This is how champions start their day. They speak life before the day speaks back. They don't wait for the world to inspire them. They inspire the world with their conviction. They plant faith when fear tries to rise. They choose power when pressure tries to break them. And they end each day knowing that they've lived with purpose because they started with the right mindset. So tomorrow morning, when the sun rises and your eyes open, don't just get up, grow up, don't just exist, expand. Look in the mirror and remind yourself, I am chosen, I am capable, I am consistent, I am covered, I am grateful, I am growing, I am focused, I am faithful, I am favored. Say it until you believe it, and believe it until you live it. Because when you master your mornings, you begin to master your life.